Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture of linked list. This is Sifati Jahan, and in today's lecture we are going to cover advanced manipulation on linked list. Here I am going to show you how to create a list from an array. In our previous lecture we have seen the creation of the list manually. Now I'm going to show you actually if I have a set of values inside an array, how I can use to create the list. Okay, let's consider this array where we have the values 10, 20, 30, 40 in the corresponding indexes are 0, 1, 2 and 3, and I want to create this list where I have the head reference saying me the starting of the list. I have the same values 10, 20, 30 and 40, and 40 goes to now. So how we can create it? So if we look at this create list method, we have the return type as a node. This is basically I'm going to return the head of the list, and as a parameter I take then array reference. So I have to go through the values that are in the array in order to create my objects. So basically I have to iterate the array, and inside the array when I'm iterating it I have to create the nodes, and also I have to track which node I have created so far so that I can link the new node with the created node. Okay, so here I have two variables. One is the head. This will be used for showing the starting of the list, and I also have a variable tail. The purpose of the tail is basically will be used to tracking down which node I have created so far. Basically the last node that I have created so far. Okay, and the last statement is also showing here that I have to return the starting of the list, so I have to return the head reference. Okay, so the next step is iterating through the array, and I'm going to create a new node inside the array using my node constructor, and I'm using the simple class that I have built previously, which has an object value and the reference of the node. So here I created my new node using that constructor. In this constructor I have the first value of the array, okay, which is array I, comma null. So this will give me the first value of the array, and we will create a node containing the value of the index I of the array. The next step will be checking if I have the first element created or not. If I don't have the first element created, that's mean my list was empty and I don't have any object there. How we can check it? We check it by the condition head equal null. If the head is null, that means my list was empty, so the node that is created first will be my first node, as well as this will be also my last node, so the tail will also point to my new head. I can also use tail equals to head, it means the same, so any of the two options are okay while assigning tail in this case. This is the first condition where I have to check if I have an empty list. If I don't have this empty list, what I have to do is the current node that are created so far will be holding tail. So I have to link the tail with the new node. Okay, here it is, where I connected tail.next equals to new node, and then I have to rearrange the tail. Now that I connected the new node as my tail element, I have to update it. Okay, so this basic code I will illustrate in the next slide where I show you how this basically works. Okay, so let's take a look to this sample of the previous code. I have two references, head and tail, which are pointing to null. Now I'm going to create my first node which contains the first value of my array, which is 10. Initially this is my first node, I don't have any list here, so it goes to the conditional statement where it says if head equal null. So my head is null. That means I have to connect head to this first node. So head is pointing here now, and my list does not have any other element, so the last element, which is pointing by tail, will also be referring to 10. Now I go through the next element that are present in the array and is containing 20, so I created my second node, which is 20, and when I have this node, I have to connect it after my first node. So I cannot change the head reference because the starting of the list cannot be changed. If I change it, so my whole list is gone. I cannot go back as I will lose the reference. So that I'm using this tail for having the iterating purposes. So what I am going to do is connect 10 with 20. So I can do it like head.next equals to new node 20, or I can do simply tail.next equals to new node. Why I cannot do head.next equals to new node? This is because this is only will work for the second node, but for the third node and fourth node, head.next cannot be used. Otherwise only the object that we will have the list will be two, which is the head and the last node that I create. That's all. The middle nodes will be lost and I'm going to replace the addresses. So here I'm going to use tail.next equals to the new node, which is 20, and replace the tail reference later on. Okay, so connected, the tail is updated. Similarly for 30, I have to connect the tail node reference with the next. Okay, so I updated tail.next equals to 30 and updated the tail. Then we have the last element, which is 40. Similar with the 30, the address that is contained on tail will be changed its next variable with the value of 40 and tail will be updated. This is how we generate the linked list from an array. Okay, here is we have another operation, which is creating a list or copying a list to another one. Here we have a node as a return type, and we have the node head as the giving the list of the nodes, the linked list that we need to copy. So the approach of the copy list similar to that we have done when we are generating the array. So we have to go through one list, we have to iterate creating the new nodes which will have the values that are contained in the nodes of the list to be copied, and then we have to link it, and as well as we will need another iterator because we cannot change the value of the head. So we are going to use here as well the tail reference. Let's look at this code. Okay, if you consider this is the list that I need to copy, here I have 10, 20, 30, 40 and corresponding addresses Dhaka, Khulna, Sylhet and Kumilla, and with the head reference pointing to Dhaka for the list. I have to make another list which will have the same values that the given list but will be a copy. Okay, and we name it here copy head to demonstrate that this is a different list and will have different addresses in the memory, but it will contain the same values 10, 20, 30 and 40. So how we can do it? The approach is similar to the previous one, where we are creating the list from an array. Okay, we have to have a copy head and copy tail. We just name it so that similar, so that we can understand what we are doing. I have to go through the list, the given, which is the loop is here, where we have node n equals to head and not equals to null and n equals to n dot next, and I'm creating my nodes. Node equals to node, new node equals to new node, n dot element comma null. Inside that I have to check for the first node, so this step is the similar as the arrays one. So copy head equals to new node. This is for the first case only, where my list is empty. Copy tail will be also new node, or here we can use copy tail equals to copy head as well. And if this list is not empty, what we do is copy tail dot next equals to new node, and copy tail we have to update it to the new node. Okay, and the last statement is returning the new list head.